Hello, it's your girl Dana Monet again, here to recap season 15 of American Idol, week 2 of Auditions. And I do just want to start this video off again stating that please do not post or comment any spoilers. No spoilers. I repeat, no spoilers. Thank you. Okay, so just to briefly summarize, we did auditions in Philly, Little Rock, and Denver. And I just want to say, as someone who lives about 25 to 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia, they made Philly look really bad and like we didn't have no talent in this area. And it's absolutely ridiculous. This is the tri-state area. It's people from Philly, it's people from Delaware, it's people from Maryland, it's people from New York, New Jersey, Virginia. You know, people might be coming from Connecticut, Massachusetts. So to sit there and air an hour episode of the caliber that they did was completely disrespectful. And they're gonna think that there's not any talent that comes out of Philly when there's so much talent in Philadelphia. It is absolutely ridiculous that they did that, but I digress. So, and also I did want to briefly touch on the fact that we're still having joke contestants. Like, we're still doing this. I don't know if they're doing it because it's like, you know, taking a trip down memory lane, like, because back in the earlier seasons they used to always do the joke contestants, and it's like, since we're, you know, ending American Idol, we might as well just throw in a couple of joke contestants, because there hasn't been really a lot of joke contestants like that in a couple of years. Like, they've been really good with wheedling them people out. And, you know, dude with Jesus hair and girl who said she got her singing ability from Britney Spears. Like, why do we get people like this? Why is this happening? It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, people are so over that in 2016. It's like not even funny. So on to the good stuff. I'm going to discuss my favorites from both nights, and then top 3 overall. And golden tickets I'd revoke and possibly maybe give to somebody else. And I did just want to point out that there was a segment where they were showing all the people who didn't make it. And I could have sworn that I saw Malcolm Allen say that something like, "I just don't get it." And first of all, in season 13, Malcolm Allen made it all the way to Rush Week, you know, and got to perform. So I don't really quite understand why somebody like that, and he's mega talented, dude can sing. Like, if he actually like didn't make it, like, I'm really upset about that, because I would have loved to see him again because he's a great singer. So again, we're gonna move on to the good. Briefly move on to the good. So the first night was a little blah. We know this. The Philly auditions, they made it seem like we ain't got no talent in there. So there were only 2 people that I really liked, but I'll touch on a couple of others. Jen, the girl who was walking around like she was drunk and high, like, "Oh, I don't know my place. I don't know where I am. Oh, I'm lost. I don't know what to do." And then all of a sudden, some reason I knew she could sing just because she was acting so aloof and like oblivious to everything. And, you know, she gets on the piano. And at first she says she's going to sing Radioactive. And I'm like, oh, that one again? But she did a damn good job. Like, I actually really enjoyed her performance. I liked her voice. I liked her restraint. I think that she had interesting phrasing. I did feel like she got a little pitchy towards the end, and I did like the beginning more. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid audition as far as the performance is concerned. Everything else was a hot mess. So that was Jen with 2 N's. I forget her last name. And then the other one was Harrison Cohen, and I was a little bit put off by him and his whole like foxy grandpa story and him trying to get the ladies and all of that mess. It was just really annoying me. So I was like, if this dude can't sing, then I'm gonna be really pissed off, because that intro package was completely boring. But it turns out he can sing, and he sang an original song, and it was a damn good original song. I was like, oh, I'm starting to like do the salsa to this a little bit. I was like, it definitely had a Latin flavor to it. I almost kind of wanted him to bust into Spanish. I wonder if he realized that when he was writing it and like writing the melody and everything like that, because that could absolutely be like a crossover, like Spanish Spanglish hit. It was called No Time. And I thought he had a really interesting voice. I liked the melody. I wasn't mad at it. I was feeling the song. I liked him. He was the best of the night. And I mean, the bar was set kind of low. In my opinion, he was the best of the night. But hey, also someone in this episode that was interesting, Gianna Isabella, who is the daughter of Brenda K. Starr, who originally sang I Still Believe, that Mariah Carey remade. And Mariah Carey was a background singer for Brenda K. Starr. So little known fact there. And Brenda K. Starr and J-Lo used to go to the same dance studio in like the Bronx, and they hugged it up and they were reminiscing. They're like, how you doing? And, you know, Brenda K. knows how Jennifer Lopez is doing. She's a multi-million-dollar superstar, entertainer, singer, actress, mogul, you know, businesswoman. We know this. Okay, but whatever. But Brenda K. Starr's daughter sang The House of the Rising Sun, and I thought that she only had just an okay voice. I didn't like the way she was ending her phrases. I felt like you have to finesse that song. I didn't really care for it, and I personally would have said no. But hey, she's actually one of the people that I would have revoked her ticket. Yeah. I might as well go into some of these anyway. I would have revoked her ticket because I just don't think that she was ready. I just didn't like the way she was singing it. Like, she had a okay voice, but it just didn't do anything for me. And also Isaac Cole, who was also in the Philly auditions. He had like some Justin Bieber hair, and he decided to sing his a cappella song with the guitar. Made absolutely no sense. Country, he had a lot of pitch issues, and you know, Harry was talking about fake twang, and you know, he tried to compare himself to Clark. Like, you guys didn't think that Clark was the one. Like, you are no Clark, sir. No. So I would revoke Gianna and Isaac's ticket from night one. And that's all that really needs to be said about night one. I will say this. J-Lo's dress in the Philly auditions was very cute. However, when you're sitting there for hours and hours and hours wearing a dress like that, is that really comfortable? Like, it just seemed like she just had to keep on pulling it down. But okay, whatever. On to Thursday night, which started off with a bang. So, you know, two friends came into the audition together. I never really understand why people have to go in and audition together per se, because it's the individual thing. Like, you can't be a group on Idol or a duo, like, you're individuals. So it's always going to be a bummer if one makes it and the other doesn't. But lucky for these two, both of them made it. So first up, we had Amber Lynn, and she sang Alan Stone Unaware, which is the song we've heard already in the auditions, but I didn't hold that against her because, I mean, I've heard House of the Rising Sun probably about 6 times in the past 4 nights. So I'll take only the second time I'm hearing Unaware on reality singing competitions, period. I'll take twice in the auditions. I really liked her voice. She had nice power, but she also had restraint. She had a nice falsetto. It was like a nice groove. She has soul to her voice that I wasn't really expecting. I really didn't know what I was expecting her voice to sound like, but I didn't expect it to sound like that. But yet Harry decided to judge her friend playing on the guitar instead of her voice. But it wasn't really that much critique because she did a really good job. Now on to her friend. Now, his name. Well, first when I heard it, I didn't think I heard it right. But his name is James the Eighth. All right, James the Eighth. All right, here we go. That name stands out. James is a pretty boring name and a pretty common name. But when you put the eighth on it, like, you don't hear names like that anymore. So it's very interesting. He sang a song by John Legend called Sun Comes Up. I thought he had a nice voice, and he made some interesting choices and also some interesting faces. I did kind of like him, but he had this affected quality to his voice that all of these singers, when they come on these shows, they always do. And Harry made a note of that too. Like, why these affected singers? But I thought that he was good enough to make it. And they both made it to Hollywood. So, yay! And Amber was one of my favorites. She was one of my top three favorites. One of my other favorites that you might be surprised about was Ethan, and he was 15. Now, I haven't been crazy about the kids this season, and he wasn't like the best by any means, but I felt like his performance was very bluesy. I thought he had a nice voice and tone. I felt like he was just farther along than some of the other 15-year-olds, and I liked he had personality in his delivery. And I liked him as a person, and I liked the way he was delivering his performance. I thought he sang in tune. He felt natural, and that's what Harry felt like. He was like, "This is what you should be doing," but he wasn't sure if he was ready. To me, I feel like, you put through like all of these other questionable kids, but you're about to say no to him. Like, I would have been okay with maybe them saying no if other kids like Isaac or Lijon or, some of these other kids who to me didn't really do anything, didn't make it. So I definitely think that he deserved to make it. And, Keith was the one who was the tiebreaker and said yes. The next person I really liked was Mary Williams, and she did some old school country. She was like a mule rider or something. She sang Tammy Wynette, and I thought she had a really nice voice, nice power, good control. I loved her tone. J-Lo had goosies. We're going to be hearing that a lot this season. And Keith, I'm going to punch Keith in the face. He was like, I want more of a story. And he would have said no. As amazing as her voice is and some of the people that y'all said yes to, and we're going to get to some of these crazy people that they said yes to. Like, just because it didn't have more of a story. Look, chick could sing. She did it for me. Like, I mean, I think Keith was being overly critical, probably because he really likes that song, but I don't think that's fair to her. But anyway, she moved on to Hollywood. Keith, we ain't paying you no mind right now. Let me see here, because I have another favorite. I just want to shout out the montages because I didn't get to see them that much, but from what I saw, I did like Cassie and Rhea, and they both went to Hollywood. And one of my next favorites was Ashley. Her last name was Lanoa, but it was like a really, really long name. And then it was like Adams at the end. I was like, it was just ridiculous. But she was from Hawaii, so it made sense. She sang Black Velvet. I really like that song. I love her voice and her playing, like her guitar playing was like really good. And I don't really know a lot about like playing a guitar, but it sounded good to me. And then when Harry reiterated that, I was like, oh yes, she did play the guitar well. She like said velvet kind of weird, but I think that she made some nice choices with the melody. She was quiet and she drew you in. I have to admit, I did kind of want more like J-Lo did, but I wasn't going to say no to her. I absolutely think that she should have went through. So the fact that J-Lo said no, I didn't get that either. So J-Lo, you're dismissed as well. I mean, it was kind of stupid because she pretty much says yes to everybody. And I kind of feel like the producers maybe started to tell them, you got to start saying no to people or disagreeing because they were agreeing on everything. Like if they didn't like them, everybody would say no. They did like them, everybody would say yes. So they had to like mix it up. But like disagree on like some real solid grounds. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody like her, there's no reason that she shouldn't have made it through. You know, she's been around the sun 20 times. She absolutely should have made it through. And she did. She was one of my favorites. Next was Andrew. And he was like born in New York City and then he moved to Russia. So I guess he's Russian, but some people like based on his last name said he might be Albanian or something like that. But anyway, he's from Russia. I thought I liked his accent. It was interesting. I love accents. And he sang To Make You Feel My Love. And I really liked his tone and his runs. And he had a theater vibe, a musical theater vibe, which I'm not mad at. I've heard some slight pitch problems. He had a lot of vibrato. And I think a lot of people who do musical theater have a lot of vibrato, strong vibrato. But he had a nice power note at the end. And I really liked him. So I would like to see more of him. Very beautiful voice. And the last of my favorites was a guy named Elvie, and he also sang House of the Rising Sun. And I was expecting old country dude, and he was the last audition of the night. And I was like, they always got to end it with country. However, he was more bluesy than country, and I was actually really digging it. And I've heard this song so many times, and I've always heard it sung by females, never by a male. And he had a nice version, a nice twist to it, and I really quite enjoyed it. And he really looked like he was feeling it, and he was enjoying it. So I really enjoyed that. All in all, on Wednesday night, there were 6 golden ticket recipients that they showed. And on Thursday night, there were 16 golden ticket recipients that they showed. Just a quick note, there was a guy named John Wayne Schultz who auditioned, and he made it through. He was actually on season 10, and in the Green Mile, it was between him and Scotty McCreery, and they chose Scotty McCreery, and we know what happened with Scotty McCreery. He ended up winning, and it was very successful. So interesting. And he was pretty good, actually. I actually kind of liked his country vibe. It was a sentimental song. So, but I just wanted to point that out. And now on to the tickets I'd revoke. I already said 2. I said Isaac and Gianna. The other person that I would revoke is Tank. I don't know what these judges were thinking when they decided to put Tanker Size through, but huge mistake. He was a dance teacher. You know, he came in there with a boombox, another one with a boombox, and he put on J-Lo's Get Right, and he was doing the dance break on Get Right. He was like, and I was like, oh, he's getting it a little bit. And I'm like just thinking, oh, this is going to be fun and games, and they're going to say no. And he decided to sing Superstar, and you know, he was like out of breath, and he had a very generic voice to me. I didn't like his tone. He could kind of sing, but he was completely bland. I thought he was pitchy, horrible high note. I thought he said no. And all of the judges said yes. Like, there wasn't even a debate. You know that was producer manipulation. And J-Lo was like, and all this type of stuff. And I was like, I'm going to punch all of them in their face. That was producer manipulation. I'm sorry. J-Lo, you're getting paid enough to have said no to him. You are. You all are. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, what they gonna do? Fire y'all at this point? Y'all been the judges for the past 3 years. They're not going to fire you if you're honest. Bump that mess just so he could. No. Tanker Size should not have gone through. And J-Lo kept on trying to defend it like, he's out of breath. Look, Beyonce sings and dances her tail off. She don't sound like that when she's singing and dancing, okay? Like, even Chris Brown still has some tone when he's singing and dancing. Don't give me that crap. Crazy J-Lo. But anyway, that was the conclusion of the second week of the auditions. And I did want to just briefly touch on the fact that, just so you know, in case you didn't realize it, my 3 favorites of the week period were Amber Lynn, Harrison Cohen, and Elvie, which was really, really hard because Andrew and Ashley came close. Andrew, Ashley, and Mary came close to the number 3 spot, but I had to go with Elvie because he was feeling it so much. And I loved Harrison's original song, and Amber's voice was just, loved her voice. Anyway, so next week is the end of auditions, period, for American Idol. Like, that is it. There's like no more auditions, and it was kind of sad that, you know, they're pulling the curtain on it and there's no more show. Like, I really hope they figure out something to kind of keep the American Idol spirit alive. I think it would be a good idea if they, you know, showed previous seasons of Idol, like an American Idol Rewind. They did have a show like that before where they like kind of showed snippets from the previous seasons, but I think they should show the whole thing, previous seasons, like in syndication, and, you know, we can just watch it. Like, I just think that would be a good idea, or at the very least make it available on Hulu or Netflix. Like, it's only the current season available of American Idol on Hulu, so I think that that's something that they should definitely look into. And I also did want to make a point that I'm a big blog reader. So there's 2 blogs in particular that I always look at when it comes to my American Idol and The Voice recaps. And that's tvline.com with Michael Slezak and MJS Big Blog. And Michael Slezak from TV Line, they always do a video blog regarding American Idol called Reality Check. So make sure you check those out. And whenever I'm kind of, hearing different things or I'm inside my head, those reviews and things like that may be in my head when I'm watching it. But I like the opinions that they give and just reading with what other people think. I think it's very interesting. So I'm excited for next week. They're claiming that it's the best of the best, the cream of the crop. So I'm hoping that I see people that are Candace Glover, Jessica Sanchez, Adam Lambert, Kelly Clarkson levels. I'm hoping for that. If they're saying that it's the best of the best and I'm getting like Scotty McCreery type people, then I'm not going to be happy about that. So hopefully they bring out the big guns in the last week and it'll be the end of auditions forever for American Idol. It's kind of sad, but I'm surprised that I laughed about that. But that's all. That's it. And I'll see you next week. Bye.